Listen, we're going to ignore the fact that I just got finished saying that I'm selling all of my Truly Me dolls. We're also going to ignore the fact that I may not be centered in frame right now because I am filming this in my bedroom. Yeah, you heard me right. I don't have a doll room. This is my bed, like right in front of me, and then a million stinky toys from the 80s. What are you going to do? This is my life now. So, Amazon Prime Day just happened, and guess what happens when Prime Day happens? I get a bunch of dolls that I have no use for, and not only do I do that, I buy duplicates of them because I am always the person that gets a messed up doll with like one squinty eye, the eyelashes like printed on the back of their head practically. So I buy two dolls, I pick one, and then I either sell or return the other one. And that's what we're going to do today. I bought one of the Truly Me dolls that has been kind of on my wish list for a long time, despite saying I'm no longer collecting Truly Me dolls. But we all know how that goes. I said I was no longer collecting American Girl of Today, sold all but like one or two of them, and now here we are a year later and I have almost 20 of them now. So I don't know what's wrong with me, and honestly, I don't really care. So yeah, today we're going to open only part of my Amazon Prime Day haul. When I tell you we ordered so much stuff, like I love a bargain. I love things on sale. So we were buying like literally everything on that sale, which I know we should support local businesses, but we live in the rural South and we don't really have local businesses here. So for today's video, we are going to unbox the School Rules collection set that I completely roasted like a year ago, but secretly wanted. And now that it was like, I swear, like less than half price, I finally got it because there are a bunch of individual pieces in here that I really, really wanted. And in addition to that, we are going to look at two Truly Me number 127 dolls because hello, this doll is so freaking gorgeous. And it was Prime Day. This doll was like $75, I want to say. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and get her. And we'll see if this is the doll that ends up making me collect every single doll in the Truly Me line ever. It is possible. But today, I just want to hang out. We're going to do sort of a long, slow video, I think. I feel like most people like these videos. I certainly love long videos, and I am totally happy for you to chime in and let me know if you prefer videos that are closer to 20 minutes or if you prefer them closer to an hour. Because personally, I like to put on YouTube videos and just leave them while I go do something else and let somebody like ramble insanely in the background. And I'm really good at rambling insanely. So we're going to just do a long, slow video today. I'm not going to edit too much, and we're just going to look at some cool doll stuff because what is my life if not opening a new doll package every single day? So let's start with the school rule. What is it called? The school, why did I say school rules? School day style outfit set. Oh, it says School Rules collection. Does school really rule? I mean, who here liked school? I hated school. Now, to be fair, like kids were really, really mean to me when I was in school. So that is probably part of the reason I hated it. But honestly, yeah, I liked art and maybe English and French. But other than that, I just, oh gosh, I was not a school person. Especially once I started driving and was able to drive myself to school, I would show up like 2 hours late I'm not kidding. I missed probably like a third of what school I was supposed to have because I hated it so much. And I grew up in the rural South, so my school was like a long ways away from my house. It was like pretty much an hour to get to school every day. So that meant I had to wake up at like 6 o'clock every morning to get to school. And I was not about that because I was up on the internet like till all hours of the morning. So it was very common for me to go to bed at like 3 o'clock in the morning, then have to wake up at 6 o'clock to go to school. So yeah, I hated just about everything about it. So yeah, it is a little bit traumatizing to like look at school related doll stuff, but I also have to remember that was a long, long time ago and those people can't hurt me now. And by those people, I mean trigonometry and like AP biology. So anyway, this packaging is kind of cool. It's one of those like play set ones, so you can actually like open this back thing here. We're not going to go through this. Honestly, this is like such a throwaway. Like, I guess for kids that have really vivid imaginations, that might be a fun thing, but honestly, I'm probably just going to dump this in the recycling bin because I don't think I'm going to keep all of these pieces. I really mainly purchased it for a few things. Actually, I'm going to start with the things that I wanted the most so you can kind of see what my intentions were for this set. So I have my mini me, whom I have grown to love more and more every day. I really think he's a cool doll now, especially if I keep sunglasses on him. So yeah, I've been spending a little bit more time with him. I'm definitely keeping him, even though his hair is still a little bit messed up from the factory. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Damn it. So his glasses just fell off. But anyway, I've been trying to dress him a little bit more like 80s and 90s to sort of fit in with my 80s and 90s toy collection behind me, because that's where he's living right now. And I really wanted this set mainly for like these shoes that look incredibly 80s. They look sort of like Reeboks in a way. I don't know. It's just this color palette and the white shoes. These look really, really retro. So I wanted these shoes. I wanted these pants because, or I guess they're technically shorts, because I love the color of them. And again, these really could, I could see these in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. I mean, honestly, this is kind of a timeless look if you ask me. So I really love the color of them. I thought they went great with Courtney's, I guess this is a sweatshirt. So I've already dug into this and started using some of these things. So anyway, but yeah, I really loved one of these looks in this collection in particular, and it was the one with this like turquoise, is this turquoise, like aqua and purple top and pants and everything. I just love the color palette. It's very much like reminiscent of that jazz design that you saw on paper cups all the time. And can't remember if it was the 80s or the 90s, but it was a super common pattern. And this kind of reminds me of that era. And I think we're going to use this today too. So I'm going to set it aside so we can get to it later. But yeah, this is a pretty cool set. Like I said, I am probably going to just individually sell a lot of these pieces because I can't envision myself using a lot of these things. And they're made decently well, but honestly, like, it's somewhere between what you would expect for American Girl and maybe our generation. I don't know. So yeah, we have this plaid skirt. I love this pattern, but again, I don't know how much I will use this. This is so 2000s looking to me. Like these, I feel like all the emo kids were wearing stuff like this in the early 2000s. And honestly, like, I don't know, I just feel like I can see scene people wearing this, and like, you know, with the big scene here from like 2007 to 2009 where everyone was like flat ironing their hair and like razoring the ends. I don't know why I just see this, like this in particular, like looks like something someone with scene hair would wear, which I'm living for. It's so crazy to me. Like sometimes you live through something and like when it's a trend for the first time and you think, oh my gosh, I can't wait to stop seeing this. And you know, for in like 10 years when we look back on this and we'll be like, oh my gosh, can you believe people were dressing like this? And then you just start to get nostalgic for that thing. So now like even a look that I didn't really care for when it was in vogue at the time, like that scene look, now I'm kind of nostalgic for it just because it's very like MySpace and reminds me of that time. And it was a very weird time in American culture, but I feel like now I'm starting to see more people like in the same way. Like it's just so weird, right? Like I remember like years and years ago, you know, you'd have particularly like my female friends would be into like fashions from like the 40s and 50s, like real like vintage kind of look, you know, things from the past. And I always thought it was like so interesting that like, you know, a lot of people's parents and grandmothers were probably like really nostalgic to see it come back around for the second time. And I feel like that's just happening even faster now. So like now people are wearing stuff from like 2007, which wasn't even 20 years ago, but we still look back on it with fondness. So I love seeing people wearing things like that now because again, it's fun to keep those cultures alive. And I don't know, I just really love anytime I see somebody with scene hair in 2024. It's such a trip, and I love that people are still into things like that now. So anyway, we'll keep going through here. These are actually really cute too. I didn't know if I would love them that much, but I think the key to these jeans are maybe like pairing them with something a little more simple, because in the lookbook for this collection, they've put this really well-made heart sweater with it, but I think it's a bit like, I don't know, too much like look. I feel like these clash a lot, but I feel like if you put this with like a simple like lilac t-shirt, which you kind of have in here, like if you put it with something like this, all of a sudden it kind of starts to make more sense, like if you streamline the look a little bit. So I could see myself using these jeans. I love a good pair of jeans for dolls, and so I think I likely will end up keeping these. And like I said, this sweater was one of the things that I really wanted from this set as well. So probably something I will keep, but not pair with this. I just don't think this combo really looks that good together, but I'm sure like a basic pair of jeans would look really great with this, or potentially even under the overall set that we're going to look at later. So yeah, I'll set this aside too. We might want to try this on number 127 as well. And then again, we probably have more stuff in here that I'm probably just going to sell, but we have a pair of green socks. I have to be honest, I don't use a lot of socks on my dolls. I probably will just sell these because I have so many pairs anyway. Most of the time my dolls are in like pants, or if they have like a shorter skirt or like shorts on, I typically don't put socks on them. So we'll tear into here. Do you want some ASMR? I feel like that was terrible, but there's a pair of shoes in here that actually might be pretty cool. Let's have a look at them. They're almost like slides, but I think they have like kind of a platform sole on them. Are these? Oh. How do we expect 9-year-olds to open these things when a 30-something-year-old can't? All right, let's see. Ooh, are these sticky? Ooh, I don't really like the way these feel. If you have sensory issues, you might actually hate these. Like these, they're like a little squishy, but they have like a really strange sticky feeling that I'm not a fan of, and I feel like it's going to leave a residue on my doll's feet. They are cute though. I like them, but they might get sold because honestly, I don't know, if I can put them with like maybe a Y2K look, I might end up using them. The color on them is fantastic. I love this shade of pink, but we'll see. I don't know how often I'll use these. And I think realistically, it's probably time for a Truly Me purge because I've just been buying so much from American Girl. They run sales all the time, and then that paired with the Prime Day sales, I just end up with so much stuff in my house that I don't use for that long. Like I bought a bunch of the Janie and Jack stuff when it went on sale, and it's pretty. I like it, but I just don't use it. I don't know. It's weird. I think the more you have a doll collection and like a really big wardrobe, you start gravitating towards some of the same pieces, and I feel like there have been some pieces that I've bought that I just do not grab, and I don't need the world's biggest like modern American Girl clothing collection. So I really think it's time to start paring down. Like I don't need this assignment notebook. Like I think I'm just about probably ready to just start putting like big piles of things and just selling lots to clear it out because it's starting to be a lot. Because this is what happens. Like I always compare it to like the old lady that swallowed the fly. That old like, I don't think it's a limerick. Is it a nursery rhyme or a poem or something? But you know, the old lady that swallowed the fly to catch the spider, to catch the frog or whatever eats spiders. So that's kind of how it ends up with me too, is like I'll end up buying lots or something like this in this case where I wanted like maybe 5 things out of this set, and then I just have all of this random stuff sitting around. And if you buy a lot of doll stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just end up with a bunch of stuff you never would have bought if you were purchasing it by itself, but it just comes with other stuff. So you just end up with so many random things. And yeah, it's time to purge and get a lot of this stuff out of here. Now, this hair clip is really cute. I probably will keep this because I always like the little hair accessory. Gosh, I could probably put this in my hair now that it's so long. All right, so we have, oh, these pins are cute. I will keep these. These will look good with Courtney's like bedroom set, like, because she has some like pencils and things in her collection. And I feel like this, like, we've got like lavender or lilac, turquoise, and pink. This is a very, very 80s looking color palette, so that's going to look great with that bed display up there, so I'm definitely keeping those. And then, oh, this protractor is really cool. I'm going to keep this too. I do like the school supplies. I think it's really fun to be able to potentially put like a desk or workroom together for the dolls when I eventually have a dollhouse. And this little clear pink protractor, I'll go ahead and take it out of the bag. I feel like we can't see it super well when it's in the bag because it's practically invisible. It's basically clear with like a pink tint to it. But this is like the problem that I keep end up having is I'll see something really cute. It's like, I don't have a plan for this other than just throwing it on that bed back there, but I don't want to sell it because trying to get it again, like it'll go on eBay and the cheapest one of these will be like $20. So yeah, I don't know. So again, all of these like art sketchbooks and whatever stickers these are, I'm probably not going to use them. So I'll just probably throw them in the lot. So that's the, what is it called again? The School Day Style Outfit Set, which honestly, I think is a really great set. I just think that they made a mistake of pairing too many outfits and accessories together. And I don't think it sold super well, if I had to guess, based on it being on a super deal on Amazon Prime. And actually, this has been on Amazon for a while. Like it's been sitting at like 60 something dollars, and I got tempted to buy it when it was at like $67 or whatever, but yeah, it just ended up being like 40 something dollars, and then I think it sold out. So yeah, I just think they made a mistake of charging like what, $90 for all of this together. You know, I think that the mix and match is really, I feel like, the way to go for them with stuff like this, because I would spend more money probably like buying the individual pieces, but just being able to do it over time, as I've done with like Courtney's collection in particular, you know, every time you place an order and you need to like bump it up 10 or 20 bucks to get free shipping, like it's like, oh, just throw a little mix and match piece in my cart, and you just gradually over time end up getting all of it and spending more money. So that would be my advice to American Girl, as if they were listening. But I really do feel like you sell more of it when people can just buy the individual pieces they want. Because like I said, I just have a lot of junk now based on buying this one thing that I don't even want, that's a chore for me to get rid of. But anyway, it was a good deal. I'm glad I purchased it. And we will see a little bit of it later when we dress number 127. All right, let's get into the doll unboxing. I feel like that's the main reason you clicked on this video, so I don't want to ramble too long before we start looking at dolls. But as I mentioned before, typically will order, look, is this unethical? Please tell me if it is. I don't intend it to be. But when I order dolls off of Amazon, I don't do this with American Girl because I feel like the shipping and returns and stuff is a little bit more costly. But because Amazon has free returns, if I buy a doll from Amazon, I typically will buy two for a couple of different reasons. One, it sort of makes them put it in a bigger shipping box so they don't start putting the shipping label like directly on this. Like I have had them several times just basically put a piece of tape around the back of the box and slap a shipping label on the front of the actual doll box and then just ship it to me. And then my doll box is all messed up, and I hate that because I keep the boxes. So I've learned a couple of tricks. One is to order multiple dolls, and they'll often put them in one bigger box. But also a trick that some people in the comment section, the last time I complained about this, said if you mark the item as a gift, they typically will put it in a separate box so that it's like doesn't spoil the surprise. And so since I've started marking the item as a gift, I basically haven't had that problem, and the boxes show up in pretty pristine shape, which is really great. So that's what I've been doing. But still, on that token, like if you're buying a doll online, you don't really get the opportunity to pick out one that, you know, that really suits you. I don't know if you're going to see my American Girl store visit before or after this. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I was able to go in the store and pick out the perfect Girl of the Year Lila Minetti doll. And I just prefer that experience, obviously, as we all do. And so that was really nice to do. And I've had pretty good luck with American Girl as far as like ordering directly from them. I really haven't gotten any dolls where, you know, they have like a super squinty eye or like misprinted like face paint or anything. But I have noticed with Amazon, I feel like I get a little bit more, like a higher rate of defects. So this seems unlikely. I don't know if potentially American Girl sends their like B+ dolls to Amazon. I don't know, but I just feel like I've had a higher rate of like, I shouldn't say bad dolls, but just a higher rate of like defects or flaws in dolls. So I typically, when I order from Amazon now, I will order the same doll twice and just return or sell the second one. And it just kind of gives me that opportunity to at least pick something. So let me know if you feel like that's unethical. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I feel like these trucks are going around all day, every day. It's not like it's even adding more like fossil fuels to the environment to like do the extra shipping, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't, I don't feel like it's unethical, but yeah, if there is an issue with that, let me know. I'm not trying to be like a bad actor in the doll world, but yeah, I ordered 2 of number 127 because, like I've said previously, she is one that has been on my wish list for a while. You know, the number 35 skin tone on the Josefina sculpt is one of my favorite combos that they do. Clearly, because number 80 is the one that hangs out with me on my desk all the time, and my ideal create your own doll that I made, I guess, months ago now. He's one of my favorite dolls in my collection, especially if you don't count like the vintage nostalgic stuff. My doll Finn right here, who is a create your own doll. He's a number 35 Josefina head sculpt as well. So I just really love that combo. So obviously when number 127 was released, I really had my eye on her as a doll that I wanted to add to my collection. But I keep doing that thing that we all do where like I have so many dolls and I just need to freaking stop already, but I cannot, like, I swear, like, I get in a trance. Anytime I see one of these dolls for sale, like, under $85, it's like, I cannot help myself. So, yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to get her. I'm going to enjoy her for a while. And I probably, even if I don't keep her long term, I really wanted to have some experience with this doll because I love her hair in particular. I think you know, I had Yvette Peters for a while, who has sort of a similar style of wig, and I really, really, really loved it. But for multiple reasons, I ended up selling that doll, mainly because I just need to not keep as many, like, when I say modern or contemporary dolls, I just mean like Mattel era Pleasant Company. So my bulk of my collection is, you know, 1986 to 1998, and anything that was made after that is, I just basically say like it's for fun. So those are the things that like I'll fidget with and kind of play around with, you know, before bed. If, for instance, I'm just trying to relax and vibe before bed, sometimes I might just put on a YouTube video and restyle like a Truly Me doll's hair or put them in a different outfit. It's just kind of a way to relax because I tend to get my vintage collection almost like museum grade, although admittedly right now it doesn't look amazing. I'm trying to make it a little bit better looking like it was in Oregon before we uprooted everything and just, you know, turned our life upside down. But yeah, I try and get that to be a little bit more permanent looking. So that's why I love the Truly Me dolls. It's fun to experience the new things that American Girl is offering, and I probably should just go ahead and start unboxing her, but I wanted to talk to you about which doll I picked first. But yeah, I really love buying new things that are not gross like that. I buy really good quality vintage Pleasant Company dolls, and I clean them and I disinfect them, but there's still always that ick factor for me for a doll that's been like carried around by a child, because you know how disgusting children are. They don't think about germs and things like that, but I'm like, I guarantee you this messed up Molly doll I got was probably dragged around while the kid had food poisoning and was puking everywhere, and that doll probably sat, you know, like in the bathroom, like while the kid was taking a bath. I feel like I see like an entire childhood's worth of germs on Pleasant Company dolls. So you'll never catch me like cuddling a Pleasant Company doll or like having it on my clean workstation or whatever. So that's why I like having these new dolls, so I can actually like quote unquote play with them and like brush their hair and do things with their outfits and stuff, and it doesn't feel like I'm just kicking up like the bubonic plague into the air. I know that's extreme. I have OCD. Sorry, it's just something that I deal with. But yeah, so anyway, that's one reason I really love the Truly Me collection in particular, is that it's new and clean. But like I said, I love the American Girl brand, and I love how, like, to watch it evolve over the years, or in some cases, I guess, devolve. But yeah, so I really, really wanted this doll. So what I ended up doing, I got 2 of them, and I basically had them side by side, really, really examining them. And let me go ahead and get the box lids off so we can actually start looking at the 2 that I got. And I can kind of explain why I went with the one I went with, because it actually was kind of a surprise. Because, spoiler, I ended up wanting to pick the one that had defects. So I was also on the Discord for my Patreon. I have a bunch of friends there, and we all talk about dolls literally 24/7, and it's a really great place. Like if you need advice about something, you can kind of ask your doll friends in real time like what to do. And so I will often do that, is go on there, and this was a good example of getting 2 of these 127 dolls, and I was so torn on which one to keep, because my initial impression was like one of them I really like, I liked overall better than the other, but the one that I liked more had what are, I guess, technically like factory defects. So let me show you number 1 right here. So let me see if I can get her a little bit closer. So I might have to come in with some footage over top so we can actually see a little bit closer her face. But I just thought she has a really, really adorable look. She just looks happy to me. Now, there are some issues with her face paint, notably like her eyebrow. I think it's her left eyebrow. I think is printed a little bit too far over, like off. I say off center, it's like a little bit too close to the center, I think, to be considered like what would maybe be like a natural resting position. Like most people would say that looks a little bit crooked. And also, I think her right eyelashes on the top are more wrapped into the eye socket than the eyelashes on her left. And then in addition to that, her eyelash on the, like her right eyelash is a little bit curlier than the left one. So she has a very, I shouldn't say very, I would say her face paint is a little bit asymmetrical. And if you know the drill, if you've dealt with this with American Girl before, is they often will, like if you go and complain about one of the eye sockets being like way bigger than the other, or the, like, you know, an eyebrow being a little bit off, they will tell you that that's sort of like the intention of the dolls, like based on the way they're manufactured. Like they're meant to look more human because humans are asymmetrical. So they kind of don't want them to look perfectly symmetrical. Now, sometimes I'm like, okay, be so for real right now. That's just you trying not to be like overly zealous with the quality control and taking a lot of returns. But at the same time, like today is kind of the day where I kind of realized in some cases that actually can work out and make the doll look a little bit nicer. Like, so let me show you the other one that I ended up, that I'm not going to keep. We'll look at her, but we're obviously not going to unbox her because I feel like if I return her as is, they can still ship her out to somebody else that will enjoy her, because I would say she's pretty much a perfect doll. In addition to that, like the, in terms of like, I don't even want to say flaws, because it's hard to say flaws when you say like, oh, the face is asymmetrical and it's flawed. It sort of like can imply that if you're a person, like if your face is asymmetrical, that you are flawed. So we have to be careful with language like that. I would love to use more neutral language when it comes to things like that, just because I just don't want it to come across as like, I don't know, body shaming is not the right word, but I don't want people to feel like because they have a certain feature that we talk about as being like undesirable in a doll, that it's also undesirable in a human. Any hoosers. So this was the other doll that my first impression was this was the one I was going to keep, because again, I love all dolls, even ones that have flaws. Like I just, I'm not hypercritical in terms of saying like, oh, I don't really like this or that. But this doll technically on paper is like more quote unquote perfect. She has like her eyebrows are a little bit more spaced correctly. Her eyelash paint is, I would say, like pretty much perfectly symmetrical. She just sort of has like an overall, like if you were trying to achieve like the most perfectly laid face, that's how I would describe her more than the one that we just looked at. And in addition to that, I do think her curls are a little bit more defined, as you would expect, like they were, like if they were just off of the like factory floor. Her curls look a little bit more defined, whereas the one that I'm going to keep, her curls aren't as defined, but I don't care. I really like textured hair in dolls, so to me, having like perfectly like defined curls and everything in its place, again, kind of makes them feel a little less human. This wig I think is such a cool wig, and I think it's probably pretty versatile in terms of ways you can style it and like change the shape of it. So I kind of like that, like that looks like some of the curls are like less defined in here, like they might have been brushed out a little bit before getting packaged up. We will see when we take her out, but that's really not a problem for me. It sort of gives me permission to go ahead and style her and play. Like, these are like quote unquote play dolls for me. These aren't going on display to never be appreciated. She's going to hang out with me on my desk. Her outfit's going to change. I'm going to style her hair. I'm going to do all the things that were like dolls were meant to be. I'm trying to say that in a way that doesn't sound like super awkward. I'm going to enjoy her in the way she was meant to be enjoyed. Hairstyling, outfit changes, all of that stuff. So I'm not really worried that her hair might be a little bit brushed out in some places. I think it's going to be totally fine. And again, it'll give me permission to kind of style it, and it's not like so like factory perfect. I feel like I've seen that, people that are like really into designer bags, like buying a Birkin bag, for instance, which I won't get into all of that, but I know that a lot of people like buying, I think they call them pre-loved. I hate that term. It's so like cringy to me. That's very like live, laugh, love to say. Sorry, I know a lot of you say it. I just think it's very live, laugh, love. But used Birkin bags, like ones that have scratches and they're already kind of worn in, people can prefer to purchase those because it's sort of like, all right, you have permission to just go ahead and use the bag. Whereas if you go spend $15,000 on a handbag that every stitch is in its perfect place and it's just factory pristine, if a $15,000 handbag is something that you had to save up for and is a big purchase, you might feel like you have to like wrap it in plastic and like really, really protect it. Whereas if it's already messed up, you just sort of have permission to keep enjoying it and like just let it look like Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen's bags. So anyway, so yeah, that's kind of ultimately why I ended up going with the first one. There's something about the first one's face that it almost feels like she has, this is the second one, by the way. The first one sort of has, I don't know, it's sort of like she has like a facial expression. I just feel like the way things ended up being a little bit asymmetrical and imperfect, and even her eye, it's not my favorite thing, but it'll take forever to get one that's like this. I really don't love when you can see the white under one eye, but not the other one. That's one defect or flaw, I guess, that I don't love, but it's really, really hard to avoid with certain sculpts. And I think Josefina's head sculpt is one lately that's really susceptible to that. So I'm not going to go through the process of returning like 30 dolls to try and find the quote unquote perfect one. When I look at her overall, I feel like she has a really nice expression. She's just like, she looks just a little bit happier, and I feel like she has more personality. And I think, as somebody that's going to be hanging out with me on my desk, and I'm not going to be examining every little detail of her all day, every day. It's just going to be somebody that I glance over and like, oh, I have an American Girl doll. Look at that. This is one I think that's just going to bring me just a tiny bit more joy just because I like the way her face looks. So yeah, it's so subjective, right? Like this doll would probably, like when I asked the Discord, like, a lot of my friends were like split basically. Some people liked one of them and some people or like the one that I'm keeping, and others like this one, and everybody has the reason. Some people like cannot look past like a defect or something that irks them, so it just will drive them crazy until they sell the doll and get another one. But I think for this one we're gonna go with the one that has the little bit quirkier of a facial expression. I just really like her. Again, to look at her overall, I think this is the one. So let's go ahead and get her out of the box and change her outfit. So I actually already have an outfit planned for her. She arrived later yesterday, and we had like awful thunderstorms yesterday, so I couldn't film when she got here. It was really, really dark. So I just basically took some time after deciding which of these dolls I was going to keep. I took some time to kind of pick out an outfit for her, which was really fun because I basically just took my time. And because when it thunders and lightnings here, I try and unplug my computer so like everything doesn't get fried, because I don't trust surge protectors, and this is an old house. So I basically like turn off all my devices and just find something to do. So it was kind of fun to like sit or like walk around during a thunderstorm, basically picking out doll clothes, which now that I say that out loud, that really kind of sounds like something out of a horror movie. So anyway, it was fun. I enjoyed doing that. So I decided I'm going to put her in overalls because, interestingly, I was thinking about this while I was picking out the outfit. One of you mentioned in the video that just went up recently where I did a gigantic, like over hour long haul of a bunch of like AmericanGirl.com sale items. I can't remember how it came up, but basically like the general idea was that like these dolls kind of start telling you who they are, and it's so bizarre. Oh, I remember now. We were talking about my number 80, who I keep like finding myself dressing her in sort of like alternative clothes. Like she's always like wearing pants, she's always wearing boots, she's usually wearing dark colors. I mean, hello, her hair elastic fell out, but this is what she's wearing now. I love this doll. She's so cute. She's my desk buddy right now. We'll see if I have room for both her and 127. But I kind of have her in this mashup, and she's just always, I don't know. Tomboy is not the right term. I don't really like those terms anyway. But I always kind of dress her like she's that little kid that's kind of figuring out there into like alternative music. I think that's partly why I just gravitate towards number 80, because she just feels like the girls that I was friends with in like, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s. I love a Riot Grrrl, I love a metal chick. Like all that, those are just my people, right? So yeah, I just really gravitate towards number 80 because that's kind of what her like quote unquote personality ended up being. And I just think it's so true that like, and it's not necessarily that every number 80 is like that. It's just like, that's what mine speaks to me as. And I think that's just such an interesting thing about American Girl dolls. And you know, everyone looks a little bit different, right? Like I just went on a big spiel about why I went with the doll that I'm unboxing right now versus the one that I'm returning. They're the same exact doll and were probably made consecutively, like one after the other. And they still like look so different to me, and they like seem like they have like a different type of personality. So time will tell what this doll's personality ends up becoming. I don't know, and maybe it's this meat outfit that is making me think this, but she seems like she might be a little bit preppy. Like I could see her having style similar. Again, Clueless is one of my favorite movies, so I always go back to that, but I could kind of see her having a style similar to like Cher and Dion from Clueless. So we'll see. Again, this might be the meat outfit influencing me, which this meat outfit is definitely an improvement from the previous ones. Like I've kind of gotten to where I do not care for the t-shirt dresses. So at least adding this Peter Pan collar onto it kind of makes it feel like a dress, and you know, and not a t-shirt. And also like the socks with these Mary Janes. I think that's really cute as well, but we'll see. I would love more complex meat outfits, or if they could just lower the price on the dolls further and send them with no outfits, that would be great too. But anyway, okay, I got to take her neck strap off, and I love the sound this makes, so I don't want to talk over it. Hang on. I know everybody likes the hairnet coming off, but that's my favorite part, is the neck strap coming off. And then subsequently the hairnet getting caught in the neck brace. Hang on. All right, she's out of the box. So yeah, what was I saying? The meat outfit is definitely an improvement. This is definitely better than what they were doing in the last release. What was it, 2021? I can't even remember the year they did the revamp, but yeah. So she will probably not live in this anymore. I guess the good thing is you could actually put something over this, and this could kind of like look like a skirt. I don't know. Regardless, she's coming out of it. So yeah, I'm going to actually dress her before taking the hairnet off, just so, because this will kind of keep everything like tied up so that it doesn't get caught in any Velcro that I might encounter. Or watch, it's probably going to anyway, but I know, I'm sure some of you have seen this doll be unboxed a billion times. She's really popular with adult collectors, and you know, I obviously see why. She was one of the first ones on my list of like those new of the new ones that came out earlier. I guess she was released this year, and I saw her in person in the American Girl store, and I really knew I wanted her, so it was kind of a no-brainer when she went on sale for $75 that I was going to get her. So yeah, what I ended up deciding to do, I just put together what I thought was kind of a cute outfit for her that's a little bit girly, a little bit not girly. Again, we'll come up with better language one of these days, but I am going to put her in the overalls from Nikki Hoffman's skateboarding outfit, which this is like one of my favorite pieces American Girl makes right now. And we're going to do this like tie-dye, like jazz style like t-shirt, like this, the color, what am I trying to say? The jazz print color palette tie-dye t-shirt. I don't know what to call this. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in this, and then maybe with the floral boots from Yvette Peters' meat outfit, because I think that might be a nice tribute to Yvette, since one of the main reasons I wanted this doll was to have a similar wig to Yvette, whom I don't have anymore. So the question is do we keep her socks on? I don't know. I know like people. There's two types of doll collectors. They're the ones that like make sure their dolls have like socks and underwear and everything on, and then there are people like me who it doesn't matter. Like whatever just looks good is what I prefer. So I don't care if like the dolls have like underwear or socks on as long as like it looks good. Although, yeah, we're not going to be able to see the socks with overalls on. I think that's too much. Like I don't know. That's too many pieces to have on. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take the socks off, but. Yeah, I don't know. What else is going on? Like I said, I am trying to be good and destash and get rid of as many like modern dolls as possible. I literally just got through saying that I'm getting rid of all of my Truly Me dolls that aren't boy dolls. And I literally just bought, I mean, to be fair, I'm returning one of them, but I just bought two like literally the next day. So you should be used to that by now. I will talk a big game about what I am or am not doing, and then plans change. I don't know. I'm an ambitious person. So I see something and I want it and I want to collect all of it. And I guess I eventually do, you take on a lot of responsibilities and things just take longer. So let's go ahead and get her in this t-shirt. But yeah, I have to say, it's really been interesting collecting vintage Pleasant Company and Truly Me, because now I have like a super big collection of American Girl of Today, which was basically the original version of Truly Me. Like that's when they started making modern, like non-historical dolls, was in 1995. And that's not my childhood era, like I've said a million times before. I lost interest in American Girl as a child before 1995. I think one of the reasons I like kind of grew out of dolls quickly is because I wasn't allowed to have them, and there was just so much, like I was getting so much derision and bullying from not just like kids at school, but I was getting it from adults too. And it gets really heavy when you're like 9 years old and people just like beat you down so much. And you're just like, okay, fine. Like, so I just eventually lost interest in it because, I just didn't get to experience it really at all, especially American Girl. All I got was the books and the catalogs. So yeah, I think that's probably why I lost interest in it, like sort of on the early side for kids, is because I basically just was, bullied out of it. But all that said, yeah, like the American Girl of Today line is like I only learned about it when I started buying them as an adult, like a few years ago, and I've really fallen in love with it because it's still so nostalgic for me, even though like the dolls technically aren't aren't dolls I remember from childhood. They still used pretty much all the same like head sculpts that I knew from childhood, with the exception of number 4. That entire line was basically Addie, Classic, and wait, was it just Addie and Classic plus number 4? There was a lot of repetition in the early lines. I definitely feel like I'm buying the same doll 5 times sometimes, but they look so much like the original Pleasant Company dolls. But like on top of that, they're so old now that the fashions feel nostalgic, even though like I hadn't technically seen them before. I still remember when those things were popular because they were basing all of the clothes on stuff that was popular for kids, and honestly, like some of those are like very adult looking as well. Like I feel like the mix and match meat outfit from 1995 looks like something like my school teachers wore like when I was in second grade. So which I think is hilarious. But yeah, it's still nostalgic for me and it's really fun to collect, but it's also really interesting to see how it compares to now. I feel like the quality has obviously gone way down, and that's really, I think I have a whole video where I talked for a long time about why I think the quality has gone down and the prices have gone up. It's a good watch. You should watch it if you haven't. But yeah, I've stated my theory on why all that's the case, and I understand why, and it's kind of a shame, but to a degree, like you still have the opportunity of creating like multi-layered outfits, even with like, official American Girl merchandise. You just kind of have to buy several outfits and piece them together in a way that kind of feels like it's, a little bit more layered. And that's what I'm doing here, you know. And that's honestly, it's kind of the fun in it. And not to like be an apologist for American Girl, because I'm not affiliated with them at all. If they're aware if they are aware that I exist, they, I guess, don't care for me. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Sometimes I say cuss words. I do. You know, I'm in my 30s. I'm allowed to cuss, and I'm also allowed to play with dolls. So, yeah. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, it's fun to make outfits for them because like it does make you buy more stuff, but at the end of the day, you could kind of make something unique and interesting, and that's like part of the play value for not only kids but adults too. Is like buying a bunch of random stuff and trying to like, you know, creatively put together outfits. Like again, that's just part of the fun. So this is looking super cute. Let's go ahead and put the boots on her and kind of round this outfit out so we can take her hairnet off. Again, I don't claim to be like an expert in fashion. I love things that remind me of the 80s and 90s. That's, you know, my childhood era. So I love the nostalgia from that era. So anytime it can kind of feel like it's from my childhood era, I'm gonna love it more so than being like, oh, this is the hottest thing off like Paris Fashion Week. Although I feel like half the time all of that stuff is nostalgic anyway. So yeah, this is the outfit I ended up going with. We've got Yvette's meat boots. Saying meat boots sounds hilarious. Sounds like something, speaking of nostalgia, that Lady Gaga would have worn in the 2000s. So we have the floral like Doc Martens, which I love. Even when I sold my doll, I was like, I have to keep these boots. I'm going to use them all the time. And I do. These are so, so cool. I love these boots. I remember when I took a trip to France when I was in my teens. I remember I went on a school trip basically, and I remember this girl bought floral print Doc Martens in this boutique in Paris, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And she had like floral Doc Martens from France that she got to wear around in this like little small town. I thought that was so cool. That's just like one of those dumb little memories that kind of sticks with you. I just remember her getting those awesome boots. So yeah, these kind of remind me of those. And we've got one of my favorite pieces. We've got Nikki Hoffman's overalls and this cool tie-dye t-shirt, because what was the 90s if not tie-dye? So I think this is a very nostalgic outfit. And I think there's one more thing that might make this a little bit more nostalgic, and that is a scrunchie. So let's go ahead and take her hairnet off so we can finally see what she looks like. All right, my new method, as I've stated before, is hooking my finger under the back bottom of the hairnet, pulling it around to loosen it up. All right, people, here we go. Hairnet coming off in 3, 2, 1. Come on. All right. That is fabulous. And I'm not a person that says fabulous very much, but man, she looks incredible. I am very happy with this doll. Oh my gosh. Yvette Peters who? No, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't pit dolls against each other. But, oh, this hair is everything. And like when I said she might have some parts that are brushed out, I honestly can't even really see them. She is stunned. She really is beautiful. If you're thinking about getting her, go ahead and get her. I am in love with her. Now, there was a point in time like yesterday where I thought, okay, I might keep both of them and customize one of them. Truthfully, I kind of want to see what she would look like with maybe light or dark brown eyes, or possibly even like Summer McKinney's eyes, like that really, like, I just like pinwheel eyes more than I do what we call decal eyes, the ones that are printed. I'm a painted eyes guy, not a printed eyes guy. So that's the one thing about this doll that that American Girl does that is not my favorite, is she has the eye type that I don't like as much, but oh, that's hard to complain about when she is this pretty. This wig is absolutely incredible. They really need to make more like this. I know that we have dolls that have more like of a spiral curl, and I feel like they tend to default to that with their like black and deep skin dolls, that they have more of a spiral curl. But I really love this textured hair. I just think that it is a little bit more like realistic for what's more common. And so I feel like, I just want to see more of this. You can, agree or disagree with me on that. Again, all hair is beautiful. I'm not saying like spiral curls are ugly or stupid, but there's just something about this hair that gives her, to me, more of a realistic look compared to the girls and women that I know. I cannot say enough how much I love the hair on this doll, and I cannot wait to play around with different styles and stuff. I was so like my Yvette Peters, like I wasn't sure if I was going to sell her or not. So I really didn't spend a lot of time playing with her hair because I know that when you sell a doll, people want it to look factory perfect. But this doll, I'm going to spend so much time with. I cannot wait. She just is so pretty. But what I was about to say is I really do wish American Girl had more textured hair options, and it's getting better, I will say. I forgot her number again, but she's the one with the Sonali head sculpt that has the really finely textured hair. I wish I could remember her number, but she was part of the revamp in, I want to say 2021. Her hair is gorgeous in person. And again, another really like diverse like wig. I've seen it like where the curls are a little bit more defined, and I've seen people like brush it out so it has like more of like a voluminous texture. It is so pretty. Like I want to get that doll. I want to see more hair like that. Obviously for representation reasons, if nothing else, but it really is just, it's, as someone who started out collecting dolls that collected vintage Pleasant Company, that's basically my doll collection was like 30 white dolls, and that was it for a while because I was just focusing on getting the stuff I remembered from childhood. And then I got Addie. Addie was a childhood era doll for me, but Addie and Felicity they have first edition versions, but there aren't like wildly different versions of them like there are the original like 3 dolls. So you can get really different versions of Molly, Samantha, and Kirsten. So I didn't buy like a bunch of Addie dolls because it really is kind of the same doll like 10 times. Whereas having 10 Samantha dolls, those dolls look very, very, very different. So my collection was not very diverse in the beginning, and that's one reason like it was really fun to dive into American Girl today so that I could have dolls with different skin tones and hair textures and stuff like that. It just, to me, makes a collection look more well-rounded. And obviously, you know how I feel. I think that it's also like really important for kids to have dolls that don't have the same skin tone as they do, because you know kids use dolls to learn about the world, and it's just always so strange to me when I see like white children and they have like literally 40 dolls and all of them are white. I just think that's super odd. So that's another thing too, is like we vote with our wallet too. That's why I love purchasing new dolls that are deep skinned, because I think it helps, you know, it just helps increase the demand for dolls like this. So that's why like I love when they make hair textures and things like this. I feel like this is all like comes about because more of these dolls are selling. So that's why it is important to me to buy dolls, not only because they're beautiful, but it also helps with more representation in the American Girl line. And I would love to see more hair textures like this. It's, again, just so incredibly beautiful, and it just helps my collection look more like the world does. So anyway, yeah, I feel like I've talked about her hair for like a million hours. I really want to figure out like the best way to put a scrunchie in here. I don't know. Do we want like a partial pony? Do we want a side pony? Do we want pigtails? That's what we're going to do. So yeah, I'm going to just basically split her hair in half and give her like low pigtails so I can use both colors of these. And these scrunchies came from, there goes her hairnet. These scrunchies came from a Create Your Own doll accessory pack. So that I basically picked them so that I could have these extra scrunchies, because I have like a lot of 80s clothes from Courtney's collection, and these still kind of make sense for like the like Y2K era as well. So yeah, I have a bunch of scrunchies. So let's see, do I need to, I kind of like it loose like that. Let's see, we'll just put it on the pigtails and see how it looks. Please don't roast me in the comments for my hairstyling skills. I have had a buzzed head for most of my life. I'm not good with hair. I enjoy like playing with doll hair, but I'm not really that great at it. I'm good at I have to say I'm very good at restoring it, but I'm not good at like interesting hairstyles. That's like in being creative with them. So yeah, let's tie these around one more time. So yeah, please don't come for me in the comments. I try my best, but I don't claim to be an expert at like doll hair as far as like, you know, interesting, unique styles go. All right, I feel like this has a pretty good 90s vibe. I feel like we're losing light, so I can't film a whole lot longer. We're having a lot of thunderstorms, and I think the clouds have basically come and sucked up all the light. So hopefully you can see her. If not, I'll insert some extra footage so we can really have a good look at her. But this is my newest Truly Me doll, and like I said, I know I was trying to sell all of them, but she's going to be living with me for a while. She is really, really beautiful. I am absolutely obsessed with her. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon because this channel is completely viewer supported, and without the support on Patreon, I would not be able to make doll videos for YouTube. There are hours and hours and hours of extra American Girl content there that you can't watch anywhere else on the internet, and there are tons of mail unboxings, lots of like random unique dolls, and a lot of like early Pleasant Company stuff. I've just basically taken to making really long unboxing videos. So if you like long chatty unboxing videos like today's, be sure to check out the Patreon. Like I said, it is the best thing you can do to help support my channel so I can keep making videos. You can also support my channel by shopping at idreamofjohnny.com, where there's a lot of awesome merch, plus the odd occasional vintage American Girl item. You can find me on other places on the internet like TikTok and Instagram at idreamofjohnny. And if you want to keep hanging out with me on YouTube, you can maybe hang out with me in this video right here. Hope to catch you there. See ya.